For those of you who haven't seen Dr. Mary, there she is. Tafadhali sote to turn camera into landscape mode kama ya daktari.
Okay.
Yeah, so landscape, good. Everyone should be, so that we are able to see you nicely. Yeah. Let me see.
Landscape.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
okay. Yeah, so okay, Michelle, you can take over. Ni nini unacheka? Umekutwa na teacher.
No, exactly.
Elizabeth, turn your phone into landscape mode.
Okay.
Sasa ati switch off camera.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Good. Thank you, Mboro. Good. There she is. Great. So now we can see you nicely. Right. So, Michelle, karibu sana. This is Dr. I don't call her Daktari. She's not taught us to. Ajatulea kumita Daktari, as we know her as Mom or Mary. So, Aya, take over.
Hello, Dr. Mary. Can you hear me?
She's frozen. Her screen is frozen. Daktari, your screen is frozen.
Yes, I'm wondering.
Oh yeah, there we are. There we are. I can see it.
I wonder what's happening. Okay, so.
Everyone, today it's a special episode. We have Dr. Mary with us, a counseling psychologist, and thank you for joining us. We are to deal with the topic about depression, and I'm the host, Michelle Midigo, together with Elizabeth Maura. Elizabeth Maura, do you want to say something?
Hi everyone, I hope you are great. Karibu sana, our psychologist for today. We are glad you've joined us, and we are expectant. We really want to learn a lot about this thing called depression. Yes, and my name is Elizabeth. I'm the co-host together with Michelle. Karibu
I have
sana.
lost you quite a bit. I don't know what happened. So Elizabeth, that was okay. Elizabeth?
Yeah. Yes.
Asante, Elizabeth.
Yeah, so if you see me, if you see me popping in, sorry guys, if you see me popping in and out, it's because I know there are people who are asking me for the link. There are those people who want us to who want to join. So I'm going to be sending in the link. That's why I'll be popping in and out. But yeah, Dr. Karibu, these are the hosts, very good, awesome people joining in as they go. But yeah, I think they've introduced themselves. In case you lose one another, don't worry. Sometimes connectivity issues have drama. And so, yeah, in case anything happens, I'm still here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. And I would like to give this opportunity to Dr. Mary to introduce herself to us and to tell us more about herself.
Okay. I am still struggling with technology. I don't know what I've done because now my screen has
I'm so sorry.
Well, can you see my screen? Because now it's gone all small and you guys are at a corner somewhere. I think so my name is Mary. There we are. My name is Mary. Where do I start? I'm 56 years old, but between us, we say we are 36 in my house. I say I am 36. Yeah. Why? Because I believe a lot of our age and where we are has got to do with our mental status. So what you tell yourself is what you become. And because I don't want to age quickly and I want to interact with you guys, I want to stay young. Yeah, so I don't know where to start. Maybe I can start at the age where you guys are. I'm guessing your age is averagely 20, 25. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
Or some are older. Are you older? About 48. Samare. Yeah, so no one is talking.
Hapa hakuna order hapa, wasikuchoche daktari.
Okay, sawa. So at your age, I remember I can group my growing up into primary, secondary, and all. I had a very happy-go-lucky growing up. Dad was loving and spoiled us. In between there, and very well off. We got a very well off upbringing. But in between there, he got involved with somebody, and things just went down. Everything from finances to our relationships to everything. But I was already in a very good school, and I was taught to work. So I learned how to work. And I was a top student all the way to university, still a top student. I didn't get the program I wanted, which is probably where most of you are now, struggling with what do I do, what do I not do. But I did vet medicine, finished, but all along thinking, this is not where I belong. And got married, got a young lady as a firstborn. Now she's a young lady, she's 28, who was challenged, and she introduced me to a whole world. And I got to appreciate issues of disability, issues of guidance and counseling, and life skills. And then as she grew with running programs for children with disabilities, guidance and counseling, life skills training. And Shiko is still growing, and the other family, Shiko has 5 siblings. And yeah, so she's now 27. I have spent a lot of time investing in programs for youth with children and youth with disabilities, life skills. And currently, most of them are, I've only got 2 left in college, 3 in college. The young ones are working. Our last born just entered first year a week ago at JKU. And we are all working at home. But Mr. is in Nakuru. We have a farm. And basically, currently, right now, I'm engaged with programs like what we are doing. But I am also spending a bit of time with an organization called SHAK, Spina Bifida Hydrocephalus Association of Kenya. And we have spent the last few weeks just catching up with their chapters across Kenya. And we are basically looking at, for the next 4 years, to train parents and children with spina bifida and hydrocephalus on the condition, managing the condition, and managing their relationships, which is where I come in. Yeah, so that's me. Most of the work done at home, except for when I have to go out for a meeting or a training. Yeah. And yesterday we talked with Michelle, I think, and Rodriguez. And I am sorry I missed.
Hello. Elizabeth Sikoski, umemute. Umemute. Umemute mic.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, nimemute.
Where is the doctor?
I think nini camera yake imefreeze or something.
All that, yes. So yeah. So hope we have a good time. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Mary, for that stunning introduction.
Yes, because
yeah, we have a network issue, but it's okay. So back to depression talks with Dr. Mary.
Yes.
So according to, since you're a counseling psychologist, I think you'll be the best person to explain to us what depression is. So what is it?
Okay. It just put it simply, I would say depression is a state of mind or your mental health is not in a very good place, and you're basically experiencing low energy, low self-esteem, not performing. Those are the milder levels of depression, but it can go on all the way to now thinking and hearing things that are not true, and or what we say, like hearing voices, to wanting to die, and that's the extreme level. Yeah, so depression, I would say, is a negative state of your mental health. Just to put it mildly, you're not in a good place. Your thinking, your feelings, your performance is all on a low. Yeah, and I would say you move from anxiety to depression, and then to extreme depression. Yeah, and I would say most of you guys are not suffering depression. You're probably maybe anxiety. Yeah, yeah. Depressed people are not very nice people. They don't look bright like you guys. Yeah.
So can we make a difference between being stressed and being depressed?
Okay, I would really love to, let's first talk about stress and remind me to go back to depression, which is, I think, where most of us are. God gave us a system in our body that allows us to manage extreme eventualities, like a lion coming into a room, or a snake, or an accident, or an eruption of fire. And God gave us a mechanism that allows us to be ready to fight or to run away. So in a room full of people, if a lion walks in, there are people who will think, I can fight this lion, but the others will run away. And that's a natural reaction. Now, for that to happen in our body, you lose blood from your intestines, and it all goes to your heart and to your brain and to your hands and legs, so that you can fight or run away. Now, stress is when you stay in this state for a long time. So for example, I am a child, and I know every time my father walks in, I am going to be hit. Or I am a wife, and I know every time he walks in, there's a fight. Or I'm in class and I'm not performing, and this lecturer always ridicules me. Or across the field, there is whatever it is that is causing you to remain in extreme anxiety. So that means your body is staying in a state of wanting to run away or to fight for a long time. And then that is what now puts you down, because you're constantly not wanting to eat, because all your blood has left your intestines and gone to your brain and your heart, and you're constantly having blood pumping in your head, and so you have headaches, you don't want to eat, you might be constantly sweating or shaking depending on where you are with your adrenaline, and you may be sharp for a while, but once it stays long, now you start going down. Your concentration, your attention span, all that are affected, and they start going down. So staying in that state is what is called stress. Now, if you don't manage that, that's now when you begin to walk into depression. And I say depression is an extreme state of not coping, of being hopeless, of not having hope. Yeah. So now, okay, I would really like to hear what you guys think is depression, because I think what the young people call depression is not necessarily depression. It is more like extreme stress. I believe young people are under a lot of extreme stress. And then when you don't cope as a young person, you haven't learned how to manage stress, which is, I'd rather we stick with learning to manage stress. When you fail to manage stress, then it's easy to get into depression. And if you have poor coping skills of managing stress, like you're smoking, you're drinking, you're engaging in risky behaviors, then you have a higher chance of really getting into depression. Yeah.
So basically, you mean depression is when your mind and like you disconnect from the world and you start having negative energy, or what do you exactly mean about being this? That's right. Hello, doctor.
Michelle, maybe just to say, let's all switch off our mics. Let's all switch off our mics, so that way, when we are not addressing the guest or the hosts, switch off our mics. If you want to say something, raise your hand. I'm sure both hosts will see you, and they'll be able to cue you in to ask your question, and you can start, writing your questions opportunely. Right? Sorry. Continue, guys. Dr. You were saying something. No, yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, I've lost my my thought thread. Yeah, but I was trying to say that it's important for us to be sure we are managing stress well. So because that is one of the ways of avoiding getting into depression. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are there stages of depression?
Yes, there are stages of depression. There is mild depression to now severe depression, and a person who's severely mild stages of depression could be things like forgetfulness, um, um, you're withdrawing, keeping away from people, keeping to yourself. Um, you start losing interest in what's happening around you, in your friends. You want to keep to yourself. You don't want to leave the house. And then it progresses now to the severe place where you're no longer showering, you're not looking after yourself, you're unkept, you're not eating well, you're not sleeping well. You may be suicidal, you may be a harm to yourself or to others because now you're engaging in serious risky behaviors. Addictions also could be getting the better of you. Yeah, so there are levels, and it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum, and depending on what are your coping habits, now you can go to extreme depression. And also sometimes depending on the cause of because you could have depression because of hormonal imbalance, you could have depression because of mineral imbalance, you could have depression because of an extreme event that has happened in your life, either from when you were growing up or recently. But the depression usually that we struggle to cope with is the one caused by us not managing our lives, our relationships. We have our usual engagements are not happening, like what has happened with COVID. Then it's easy to get in depression. But it's progressive. You won't have clear-cut stages, but it progresses mild to severe. Yeah, and now this is very important for sake of how do you treat your depression. There is a person could be in a state of where they're cognitive, you can talk to them, you can engage them in therapy, you can engage them in how to manage where they are and how to get out of it. But you can also have the people who are sort of like too far gone, and they need medical intervention first so that they come to a level of where they can be in touch of where they are, and then you can engage in them in therapy or how to manage to move from the state where they are in to a better state of mental health. Yeah, yeah. And that's why I say none of you are there, because you are engaging with life. You haven't disengaged. Yeah.
So, doctor, how can you know you're depressed or someone around you is depressed? Like, what are the signs, or
sorry?
How can you know someone is depressed, or how can you know you are depressed? Kuna signs, the way like you know someone with malaria, kuna fever. So yes. To avoid depression, how can you know? Which are the signs?
Basically, you just look out for how they are presenting, a change in behavior, They used to do this, they're no longer doing. They used to eat like this, they're no longer. They used to sleep. Usually sleep is also a very good indicator. Some of them sleep too much or sleep too little. All those are indications that you're not coping. You will see maybe they're no longer interested in getting out or in engaging, and they prefer to just either be in front of a screen or putting on very loud music or anything that will sort of shield them and keep them in themselves. That is usually, that's the key behavior change, that the person is slowly withdrawing from society, including you. You can also tell that today I woke up and I dressed off and I don't feel like getting out. I don't feel like combing my hair. I don't feel like dressing up. Those are slow warning signs that you're not coping. You used to love having fun with your friends. Now you don't want. Those for you are internal checks that you can have. But if you're watching somebody, then you will see they are progressively just disengaging. They're no longer sharing where they are. They're no longer talking. They're no longer eating with you. They're no longer dressing up like they used to. They're no longer engaging in their own work. If they're in school, how are they coping with schoolwork? Usually a very good indication is just a decrease in performance. Whether you're in school or at work, the person is no longer performing. Yeah, and it's because they are harboring all this negative energy.
Not to worry, her screen froze again, but I think we're going to get her back in a few. Yeah. In the meantime, you can ask as many questions as you want. Naona hapo kwa switchboard. I mean, sorry, at the switchboard ama kwa comment section.
Section. Beth will read those questions, by the way. That we have Beth.
Sorry, I missed that.
We lost you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying something about. What was she saying? You're saying something about handling how to know someone is depressed. Yeah, the signs. You explain about the signs.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what was Michelle saying? I didn't hear what Michelle said.
She was telling you before you froze. She was saying that we had lost you. Okay. So now, you have explained that part of signs of someone being depressed. Mm-hmm. Now, if you see such signs, now maybe all, but some of them in a person, are you supposed to like conclude that that person is depressed? They can mean something else. And then maybe another question you can try and elaborate for us. You said that because most of the time with us here, are you saying that I am depressed? Maybe maybe they have gotten out of a relationship and then I call like I am depressed. Maybe they are depressed. So there's a way we all try to use the word depressed and maybe we do not know. And you have said something very important that there is a difference between being depressed and being overstressed. Yes. And so maybe you can tell us how do you get to know you're not depressed, maybe overstressed, now it's getting to that point of being depressed.
I want to say this. One, I like what you've said, that the youth are saying they are depressed and they're not depressed. That is a very true statement. And it would be very nice if people just stopped saying, oh, I am depressed. Actually, I think most of the time what you say is just feeling low, but not necessarily depressed, because depressed is a place where you don't want to be. It's a very dark place. And also, what could be a sign that Elizabeth, that was Elizabeth, not Michelle. Elizabeth, how you present for anxiety and depression may for me may take me much more for me to present what you're presenting. Why? Because maybe I've learned to cope with more than you. Okay. So what am I trying to say? That we present differently to the same stress. We present differently to the same levels of anxiety or of whatever impact we are struggling with. Let's say bereavement. Yeah, we could have 5 people in a family, and all of them present differently on how they are coping with this big blow of somebody close to them passing away. And out of those 5, maybe one of them may sink into depression, another one may overwork, another one may want to change where they are living or whatever, just as a way of coping with the pain that they are feeling inside. Yeah, and that's a normal reaction. It's a normal reaction to a deep felt impact or something experience that you have had as a family. Now, how all of you will present will be different. How all of you will climb out of that will be different. And maybe unfortunately just one may sink into depression because their coping mechanisms are not so well built like the rest of the people. So extreme stress, we are, how shall I say, life has stress. What matters is your ability to manage that stress, your ability to manage that trauma you have experienced, your ability to live through COVID. Because I keep telling people, COVID is just one of the many other things that are going to come. Yeah. So how you have managed COVID will determine how you'll manage those other things that are going to come. So what am I trying to say? Do not be so hung up on what I'm feeling, how down I'm feeling, nini. It is more like, even for your friends, if you see somebody is a bit off, or yourself, you're feeling a bit off, it's very good to quickly engage in auditing yourself. Why am I like this? What is happening? What is going on in my life? If you make that a habit, then you're creating a habit of listening to yourself. And then you're beginning to ask yourself, how am I doing in my key areas? How am I doing in my relationships? How am I doing at work? How am I doing in school? How am I doing with my key people around me? And then you can see, you quickly know. And I think God is so good to us that quickly all these things can, if you want to look for them, you will find them. And you'll begin to see, oh, I haven't spoken well to my friend. We had a fight with so-and-so. I failed in class, what. So you see those areas that are beginning to put you down. And then you look for ways of engaging in those areas. And I think this is where I would like young people more to be in. Yes, you have experienced a trauma. Yes, you have experienced a pain. Look at it. Begin to allow yourself to look at it. Don't run away from it. Don't go for a bottle so that you sleep and black out and forget it. For me, I would take a lot of chips and get full and just black out because I don't want to think about it. Yeah, but that's not helping me. You can take the chips and black out, but wake up and then say, Lord, help me to face this trauma that I feel or this pain that I feel, and begin to engage with how to manage it. That is what we don't want. We don't want to engage with managing the pain. We don't even want to see it. We don't want to look at it. We want to pretend it's not there, be an ostrich and pretend it is not there. The unfortunate thing is the energy and all remains in here. So I'm just trying to tell you that we will get down, we will get hurt, we will get pain. But the key thing is for each and every one of us to learn how to manage, to develop a habit of how do we deal with pain. So what habit have I?
Your camera has frozen again, Dr. Network.
Nakwambia.
Going to disappoint this moment, Saki.
Youthful expressions mnunulie daktari Wi-Fi bana.
So before maybe we can, if you have any question, you can post it.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. I think I'll talk to Rodrigo. I know what's happening. Yeah, so I was saying, so I learned to ignore my feelings, and that becomes a habit, which is now I carried into my school, my workplace, my relationships, my marriage. Believe you me, I have not managed to break that habit until in marriage. And so you can imagine the pain that I went through in all my relationships as I was growing up, because I have a poor coping mechanism. If you hurt me, I will just shut you out. And I kept telling people that if you hurt me, that's it, we are done. Yeah. But it was also slowly killing me inside, because I had a poor habit of coping with pain. And it's very easy for me to get into depression. It's very easy for me to give up on life, because I am feeling I have a disconnect with what is happening within me and what is around me. And so that is it. My biggest cry to you all is, please learn how to cope healthily with pain. Develop a good habit of coping happily with pain. And that's actually what was my goal, even as I had this session with you, is to encourage you, yes, understand depression, yes, know the signs, know the symptoms, blah, blah, blah. But look at your habits, look at your coping habits. Do you think they're healthy? Would you prefer a better coping habit? Then identify it and work at it. Because you're a mental being, so there are thought patterns that you have developed all along that may not be healthy. You're an emotional being, so there are habits you have developed on managing your emotions that may be not doing you well. You are a spiritual being. Where are you with your God? Are you doing well? If you know you begin to see habits and trends that are not helpful, then it's up to us to work at identifying the desired habit that you have. Like for me, my desired habit was, Lord, help me to express myself. Help me not to fear to talk about my pain. Help me to be able to confront the person who has hurt me, because that was what I was fearing to do. I couldn't confront my father, and I stayed with that habit of not confronting until very late. But it was harming me and my relationships. So I purposed to work at learning how to confront. So now I eat my chips and I disappear, but I wake up and I say, God, help me, give me the courage to be able to face that person, to talk to that person. And I realize half the time, the other person is also in pain. So it's helped me have better relationships with those who are around me. It has also helped them to engage with my pain or to express when I give them pain. Yeah. So I don't know. I hope that has helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I like for what you said is that if you get an issue, you're not supposed to run away from it. You just handle it and get to know how to handle that current situation. But there's something you said about. Now let's get to whereby you're raised in a family where the dad maybe is a dictator, where maybe you do not have a good relationship with your father, and you know how there's no way you can answer back to what your dad, because of that respect, and it is supposed to be there. So maybe it gets to a point where your dad maybe amekuongelesha vibaya and you cannot get it, you cannot tell that person. And as much as we can deal it as a Christian, whereby maybe you tell, as a Christian you'll go and maybe tell the Lord to help you deal with it. But now what a normal person, maybe who relationship yake na God it's not that well, and he's in that position where the dad she has grown to that point where the dad is really affecting him so much, or her so much. So how do you deal with that?
Again, the same pattern that I'm talking about. Help the person, or you yourself, help yourself to engage with where you are with this person. You recognize, yes, this is an authority, and this is what is happening, and this is how it's affecting me. Then go to the next stage of asking yourself, Is it a positive impact on me, or is it not? Of course it's not. So you choose, you want to do something about it. Two things you need to work on: what it is doing to you and that relationship that you have with that person. So what it is doing to you, you don't want that to continue, because you're running the risk of pain through ulcers, high blood pressure, whatever, the negative impacts of keeping negative emotions. And for your father is the whole question of being able to talk to him and getting back to a relationship that is healthier. Both of them are very tall orders, but you want to sort out this relationship so that you don't pick a bad habit from your father, because our normal reaction would be, Daddy amesema, nimekasirika, he doesn't care, so I walk out. Yeah. And you may walk out physically, or you may walk out just mentally. You're in that room, but you're not there. Yeah. So
Dr. You froze again.
Sorry guys, we keep losing Daktari because of connectivity. Like I said, in Yasugui, people are using internet like you're asking before, especially because people are going back to work. So yeah.
For the meantime, tunaweza ambia kioko karibu sana Emmanuel. It's been one of our greatest participants.
Okay, get rid of the negative energy by running, relaxation, sleeping well, eating well, go cut firewood, go for a long walk, go for a run, but come back and the negative energy is gone. Then begin to work at, how do I approach my father? How do I manage this relationship? Because you have to get to the point of talking again and restoring your relationship. Now that process for some people can take 20 years, like me. I have not forgiven my father, I'm still angry with my father. So it takes me 20 years to get to a reconciling point with him. Ideally, the Bible says, do not sleep in anger. And that is wisdom, serious wisdom. Because the longer you take at reconciling, the longer you take to heal. So what I learned some years back is just forgive. Ask God to help me to forgive him. And then take the next step, which you must, and most of us don't. And it's to go back and say, when he's in a good mood and he's relaxed and he's happy, and you say, Daddy, you make an attempt of reconciliation. And this can only happen when you let him know, I harbor no bad feelings. I am not in pain anymore, but I would really like to reconcile our relationship. But we can't reconcile your relationships until I let you know an action you did, how it affected me, and to request that that does not happen again. Then healing begins to happen. If you approach him and put him at a defensive mood, of course, there's no reconciliation. He will probably kick you out of the house and tell you, I own this house, get out. But if God gives you wisdom and you approach him and he receives and hears the love and the reconciliation that you come with, then chances are your relationship will begin to heal. Being the man of the house, he may not say anything. He may keep quiet and just walk out. But you may experience a relief. And he may also experience a relief in that he knows, my daughter still loves me. She cares, and she cares for our relationship. But the guilt and all that he's struggling with may keep him quiet. But he will begin to chew on that and grow, and eventually trust him that there will be some work towards reconciliation. But for your own sake, immediately, as quickly as you can, you have to get rid of the negative energy, and you have to get to a point of forgiving that person. Because they say unforgiveness is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Yeah. So you're killing yourself slowly by keeping that pain within you. And there's something else I also share with people. Signs that you have beef with somebody and you have unforgiveness with somebody is when you see that person, you do not want to see them. You turn away. Or you're jealous of that person. Or you wish them dead. Of course, silently, nobody knows, but it is there in your heart that you wish this person dead. The other one is that you are happy when bad things happen to them. All those are indications that I have beef with this person. I have unfinished business with this person, which you need to look into and clear it for your own mental health. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I think that one to me is not the father-daughter, the father relationship is the authority, but it's to present my youth and this thing called relationships. Where now if you ukiachwa, you're depressed, even if ukiachana, you're depressed, because that is mainly how it affects us youths. So maybe you can talk to us about that. Is really breaking up with someone, am I supposed to say I'm depressed because of that? And how do I deal with that?
Oh, no, you could be depressed because you could have a bad coping relationship, a bad habit of coping with relationships from when you're small, because maybe you have unfinished business that happened when you're small. So you're already in a lot of pain, and somebody rejecting, and usually it's rejection pain that you experience as you're growing up. And then you have this girlfriend who rejects you or boyfriend who rejects you, and they just build on this wound of rejection. Yeah. So of course it can explode, and somebody can even kill the other person, because it is, you've been suppressing a pain, an emotion for long. And this girl walking out on you triggers out the worst in you, because now you have just exploded, and you will kill, you will hit, you will whatever you will do, just to help try and get some relief from that pain that you feel. But it's because you have, from the rejection of childhood, you suppressed it through college, through secondary, through relationships. You've developed a habit of suppressing, but you can only keep so much. So the triggering point may happen one time, regret. But for a normal growing up, child, you should leave you very okay. But not very okay. Of course, you feel the pain, you feel the hurt, but it should not put you to a state of depression. And I want to say that why we have such intense reactions to boyfriends leaving us, another bad habit.
Sorry, doctor, we lost a part of you when you were beginning. You were saying why we have a bad habit when boyfriends leave us. We lost you there. Your sentences.
I hope I don't run out of credit. I don't know what's anyway. But we have a bad habit that we picked up, just like we pick a bad habit of coping with the relationships. When somebody aggravates us, you can also pick a bad habit of relating to people. So I'm insecure as a person, and I don't have a loving, supportive family around me for various reasons. And I grow to, and I think with this boyfriend is where I put all my emotions. So you want him to be the father that you don't have, the relationship with your father that you didn't have, with your mother, the security that you're looking for, and you're thinking all mine. This is mine. Whereas actually a good relationship, a good healthy relationship, two people come together to spend time together, to know each other, to support each other, to grow each other, to give to each other, so that each of us become better. But the average girlfriend, boyfriend relationship we have is give me, I want, I need. So you're already standing on one foot, you're already on unstable ground as you go to relate with another person who's also on a shaky ground. So both of you, when you hold hands, chances are you're going to drop, because both of you are steady. It's just take 1 day, 2 weeks, 2 years, but both of you are relating for the wrong reasons. So
and
when,
that's,
yes?
you know, Dr. I was actually supporting your statement and saying, and that's actually exactly what I've seen even people going into, the youth now going into, especially even with marriage. Someone is saying, you know, bring your 50%, I bring my 50%, and then we make 100. No, you know, and I keep telling people it's not a 50-50 thing. It's a 100-100 thing, so that all of us have everything. In fact, I like what Will Smith said when his wife and himself are in trouble. He said, I'm not responsible for my wife's happiness. She is responsible for her own happiness.
True.
Yeah.
True, yeah. So again, I throw it back and I say, where are you as a person? Are you happy with yourself? Are you proud of yourself? Do you feel good about yourself? Are you looking to love and support somebody? Your other, not even boyfriend, girlfriend relationship, when you're with your brothers and sisters, are you a giving person, an encouraging person, a building person? Because then you're healthy and ready to engage in a relationship towards marriage. But if you're still whining, paining, negative, pulling down, gossiping person, you are not ready for a relationship. You're not ready for any relationship with anybody at all. You first have to heal yourself. See who are you? Know yourself. Why are you, what kind of a friend are you? So actually we started friendship formation. Who is a friend? What does it mean to be a friend? Who is a good friend? Usually bottom line is a good friend should help you grow towards your desired goals. So a general rule is anybody or any relationship that is taking you from growth and positive development is not a good friend. Yeah. So then, and then the other thing that we are so quick to do is just have a friend. You don't have to think marriage until you're ready for marriage. And when are you ready for marriage? When you know your purpose, you know yourself, you know where you're going, so that when you tell somebody to come and join you, you know where you're going together. Are you able to support a family? Are you able to be a father and a mother? Are you ready to do that role? Then you can begin to engage in somebody and begin to look for somebody towards marriage. But half of us are not even ready for marriage first. So grow yourself. Grow yourself spiritually, grow yourself emotionally, grow yourself socially, learn how to relate, how to talk to people, how to communicate. And then, you know, out of your many friends that you have, begin to identify one person that you think, I can live with this person forever. But let them be a friend first. And then grow with them towards marriage, such that don't waste time in thinking your Form 2 boyfriend is the one you're going to marry. That surely is a waste of time.
Actually, Doctor, you're right, and I'm sorry for interjecting. This is something we were discussing in Youthful Expressions just recently, and we're saying. In fact, I was the one who was saying, and I remember we got a lot of discussion and debate from it. Dating doesn't necessarily mean we're dating towards marriage. We can just date so that we can learn one another. You see, can we even be in the same room together even before we think about spending the rest of our lives together? You know, the habits that are what do you call them? Bare minimums. You know, beyond this point, I will not go forward and things like that. So those are the things we were discussing on Youthful Expressions.
Yeah, and growing up.
You froze again. Bundles is problem.
Please.
Yes.
Noise
From my side.
Everyone's. Rodrigo, Dr. yours,
Kuna a lot of echo, ama static.
Echo na static bado.
Oh yeah.
What?
Unanisikia sasa hivi vizuri?
Yes, inakusikia.
Liz side iko poa, side ya Liz iko poa.
Daktari ni yake hivi.
Michelle.
Michelle. Yeah.
Yes, nakusikia.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but me najisikia na echo.
Unafaa kupanda mti, Michelle.
Don't worry, I think Dr. Mary is buying, she's buying bundles, I think, and coming back.
Ati?
Saidia Rodrigo nasikia kelele ama my
What have I done?
Okay, so
yes, sorry.
yes, sorry.
Yes, I was saying we need. Why is that happening? We need to develop
There's a lot of echo, so let me try and fix it from my end. I don't know why it's happening.
Okay, so I was saying it's just again going back to our.
Sorry, Dr. Unmute yourself. You have muted yourself. Unmute yourself. Yeah, we should be able to hear you now. Yes, you're saying something.
Yeah, we should be able to hear you now. Yes, you're saying something.
Right? Is that better?
Yes, we can hear you.
So I was saying, as I was growing up, and I that we were told socialize, don't specialize. I want him for myself. I want my boyfriend. So of course we ignored, and we went ahead and just kept our boyfriends for ourselves. But the person was trying to tell us until you're ready to invest in that one relationship towards marriage, have many boyfriends, have many girlfriends, go for football together, go for drives together, go in someone's kitchen and cook together, but don't avoid that situation of one-on-one with one particular person, because your chemistry will lead to sex. And the minute you engage in sex, you stop growing in the relationship. It becomes a physical thing now. You're no longer engaging with the person mentally, socially, and relationship-wise. You're busy keeping the person to yourself. So both of you stop growing. You no longer are learning how to improve your communication skills, your relationship skills, your mental, physical, employability skills.
That's what Michelle loves calling being wifed. You've been wifed.
Yes, and of course, you're going to be devastated when this wife leaves you, because you have already invested so much.
Oh, Dr. We lost you again, and this is getting tasty. I can see Michelle smiling because her point is being driven through. She hates being wifed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if we can have Dr. Yeah, we're trying to get Dr. back. I like what Nani's saying. Where is she? Yeah, there's a comment that is very exciting as we wait for Daktari. Someone read that comment.
As you ni hii Jambi Kimany.
Yes.
Yeah, as you were saying about dating, I guess we should date having a purpose in mind, and that's marriage. If you're not dating for marriage, then you're dating for a breakup. Wow. That's big.
Is it really now? That's the other question that we need to ask even before Daktari comes in. Is it really that clear cut? Is it that really that simple?
Daktari has muted and she was talking.
Oh, Daktari, where are you? Let me see if I can see that. Daktari, let me unmute you. Here we are. Good. There we are.
No, not yet. But her mic is muted.
Okay, fine. Okay. I was actually going to say that for sure, that relationship will break because it's unhealthy and both of you are stifling each other. You're just slowly killing each other. So because you will reach a point and you can't take it, you'll just walk out and break. And that will be one divorce in first year. Then if you're unfortunate to get into another one in third year, in the same habits, you will break, I can assure you. If a baby comes in between and you get married, still I can assure you, you will break, even with that baby. Yeah. So what again I'm going back to is what is your habit in relationships? And that is what that person is saying by how sure am I that I can relate healthily and not engage in such a way that there's so much pain when we break. And that's what I was trying to say, that this person told me, and I'm trying to tell you now, until you have related and interacted with many people, and you have grown to a point of where you're feeling, I am ready for marriage. And then you choose that one person you think you can relate to towards marriage, and chances are, I want to tell you, on your first date, tell her that my indication is towards marriage. Then you can go that journey, involve your parents, family,
We've lost you again. I'm a freeze tena. So but there's something
even as we wait for Daktari, Elizabeth, what do you think so far?
There's something you wanted to ask, which I agree with. I agree with it because I think it's easier said than done. You can unauliza kama so far venye tumeona if it's easy.
There Daktari usijali, we keep trying to cover the places, the vacuums, internet yako ikitoka, usijali. We will ask you the questions. Endelea.
Her mic is muted. Daktari,
okay, yeah. So so I was saying, if ideally, the ideal situation is, as a young girl, I can only see Elizabeth right now on the screen. I've seen, let me see the other people. There's Jambi and Rodriguez and Michelle Keganya. Both have been very quiet. Anyway, yeah, I was going to say that as a young person, right now, as I see the few that I'm seeing on the screen, you have different goals in life, in different areas of your life. You have a different goal in marriage. You have a goal in marriage. Of course, you all want to get married. You have a goal, maybe you want to have a house, you want to have a job, Nini.
Yeah.
Safaricom.
The better option.
Excuse, it's not the better option. Excuse me, together with you. Yes, whatever they are calling themselves nowadays. Yeah, but you were saying something. Oh, there, the Daktari should be back. Daktari, are you back? Yeah, I think she's trying to fix herself as well. Yeah, but as she comes, Elizabeth, you were saying something.
Yeah, I think so far it's nice, but it's easier said than done. And
because sorry.
Yeah, no, okay, unaendelea.
No, I was just saying you can't simply just make it that clear cut. In fact, that's hata niwashe juu ya hiyo story. There's no way you can, sorry, here we are. There's no way you can make something that complex, that clear cut, that simple. It's not possible. And that's the beginning of the end of your relationships. Because if you say, I can't date if I'm not going to end up there, so umetufungia sote. Let me tell you right now, there's no way Mboro will ever date someone who's just thinking that we're dating for the sake of marriage at the end of the day. Wacha nikwambie man, hakuna mtu anapenda freedom yake kama mwanaume. If you think ladies have anything to fight for, ask men about their freedom. We sing even about it. Mtu anasema, I am a prisoner. Why? Because he enjoys being free. You know? So please don't let it be that okay, anytime unajulikana, anytime unaitwa, you know, when you become a wife or you become a fiancé, your husband is asked by fellow men, ukoaje? Anasema, niko prison mtu wangu, nimeachiliwa na warden. Warden amesema ni kubaya sasa, unajua, lazima turudi. Unajua, those kind of jokes, men make them all the time, but imagine they are not jokes. Ask guys, ask Mboro, he's here, he'll tell you. Sisi kama wanaume tunakanga chini tunaelewana, unajua yenyewe jamaa, amefungiwa mzee. Esikia mtu anasema, bibi Omse ni more fire, bibi Omse ni more fire, mzee. Yeah, so you can't make it that clear cut. It's impossible. It's impossible to make it that clear cut.
But better trying to understand Rodrigo ni what's the definition of kufungiwa na bibi?
Kufungiwa na bibi, actually for men, kufungiwa na bibi, actually for most men it's psychological. It's not even physical because technically we're stronger than you, yeah? But when it comes to the mind, we do things that are caged. We want to be ourselves, but we can't. That's why you see men getting into relationships and staying in them, but never really being there mentally. Unaona mpaka Mboro akotuzila Why? Because that's the thing. That's the thing. You have to get to a point where you give your man enough freedom to be able to breathe in a relationship. Because tulikuwa tunaongea na Michelle jana. Michelle, I showed you some WhatsApp screens yesterday. You know,
yeah.
What was disturbing that woman? Surely. The situation was this. I was showing Michelle a situation where the lady is asking for 5,000 shillings for salon. The week before, she was given 28,000 shillings by the guy. The lady is asking, and the guy tells the lady, here's the thing, I'm not financially stable right now. I'm not able to give you anything you want, especially if it's financial. This woman, this lady, this being, this your gender, this one, she goes and starts speaking about how unfair are you? Don't you feel for me anymore? You never used to be like this. And the guy says, I'm in a mental state right now where I'm not even able to argue. So why don't we do this? Let's just put it out for another day. Use what you have. And the lady goes ballistic. And you wonder why we don't want to get married. Because ask any man right now. They'll tell you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how strongly do you feel about marriage? Hakuna mtu atapitisha 4. Hakuna mwanaume atapitisha 4. Trust you me. But they will want to lie and be nice to you. And they'll tell you, 5. Shilingi 5. Why? Because ladies are making marriage to become a prison. If you're not making marriage to become a prison, you're making me out to be an ATM. And excuse you, I am not an ATM. You're a grown-ass woman who can handle your own money. If you can't, vamos.
So how do you want you? But also, yeah, I guess some ladies are not understanding kikuja kwa financial status za mtu, you know, they think because I treated you well this time, hadi kesho tutakuwa tu pizza kuku from Monday to Monday. I think that's the problem that
let me tell you, it's the same way Christians have this notion of thinking angels are lovely people from God. Excuse you. Angels are soldiers of the Lord. The work of a soldier is not to be nice. The work of a soldier is to defend. So while you're there thinking, Hollywood has lied to you and told you that this is the way angels should look like. Who told you? Olisikia wapi? The angels are, for who? The only nice angel we know is Angel Gabriel, and that's the reason why we know Angel Gabriel is nice, because he's the messenger. Angel Michael is an archangel. What is your definition of an archangel? Archangels are supposed to fight. So this notion that you have that angels are nice people, anyway, so it's the same thing about this thing that you people are talking about today. You have to leave some breathing room. And that's the thing people don't understand. If you don't leave breathing room, then there will not be growth. And when there's no growth, this guy called he'll get bored. And so will you, because when you're in a place where you're not growing, that's redundancy. And redundancy is the definition of madness. Madness is repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. It's not possible.
True.
But now, Sir Rodrigo, me say really breathing space and you're in my.
Let me ask you.
Freedom.
Whenever you're texting your boyfriend, for example, what do you text to say to him? Hi. Niko around. Sorry, I was saying hi to a friend. Na some mic ilikuwa on.
Like hi.
Sorry, there's a beautiful woman who's just passed by, and she's awesome. Anyway.
Okay.
As you can clearly see, I'm in a nice couch somewhere. Anyway, the question is that whenever you're texting your man, what do you tell them? What's the first thing you say to them?
Sangapi. Good morning to
It's not even about morning. Let's say, for example, in the morning, what's the first thing you say to your man? Are you the kind of person who says, habari yako nzuri, kuna kitu ulisahau, naweza nilipia pesa ya salon? Really? Yaani wewe unaamka tu hivi unaona KCB imeandikwa kwa uso yangu, ATM KCB.
Unatoka hivyo?
Yeah.
There are people who are like that.
Hey, what do you mean? Of course, there are people who are like that. You wake up, kama saizi ni lunch inafika. You'll hear someone texting me on my phone right now. Hi, Rodrigo. How are you? Kenchik. Hata utaki kujua how I'm doing. You don't even want to know. You don't even want to know where I am, how I'm breathing, if I'm still breathing anyway. Don't make relationships prison, my friend. Hey, you can't do that. You can't do that. Na usikuja na mentality ya sasa ndio jamaa na kanae lazima tutawana. Nani alikuambia mtawana? Who? People have lived in being fiancé and fiancée for a good. We anasema that's not actually a relationship. She's after your money. Yeah. People have lived for 3 years as fiancé and fiancée, whatever, and they're still broken up.
8 years.
In fact, yeah, the court recently decided today morning that living in a man's house doesn't necessarily mean there's anything going on. So.
Right, we look the doctor kabisa. What time?
I think she's gotten lost, so we might have to reschedule. But yeah, maybe anatafuta bundles.
Yeah, but there's a thing she said about the parents contributing to a child maybe being depressed. So yeah. Rodrigo, I want you to explain to us.
Yes.
Okay, how can you advise? Okay, maybe the guy maybe is 20, but all his life ameishi akijua mambo makubwa. The father left when he was.
The wife is 20?
I was saying, yeah, he's 20 and he's dating maybe. Then since he was born, alikuwa na Johanna baba, and the mom is the kind of person that kwa auntie and the church. So you can say the child has not grown well mentally and emotionally. So ikifika time yake ana act in a way to suggest anaenda anaanza ku kind of violent. So such a person, how can you advise them to asifike point ya depression? Because once you're violent, you might end up killing someone without knowing.
I'll tell you the biggest mistake I know the youth of today make, and I say the youth because I am one of them still, regardless of what you've been told to Kuinje. The point is this: I am not responsible for your happiness. I am not responsible for your mental health. I am not responsible for anything. I'm only responsible for myself. Before you come here, sort all your drama and come here clean all your baggage and come here clean. That's the thing people don't understand. And the sooner the youth of today start to understand, the easier it is for you to engage, even as you're coming to work. You're going to come to work and find bosses who want you to be here by 6:45. I was at work by 5:45 in the morning. 5:45 in the morning, some of you are asleep in the third prayer or in the third dream. You're going to find another boss who doesn't mind whatever time you show up as long as you do the work that you're doing. So I'm not responsible for you. You're responsible for yourself. Search yourself. Sit yourself down and ask, am I ready? Like what Dr. has said, am I ready to be in something that is this way? And then don't go with the mentality of me naenda ni one way ticket naenda nikiendanga sita airudi tena. Like goodbye singlehood, mimi I've left the building. No, things happen. Things happen. And a wise person is someone who knows how to have contingency plans from A to Z ikiwezekana. You get. So for someone like that, what I usually say, don't deal with such people.
Rodrigo. Rodrigo amepotea. So like he said, we should be responsible for our own happiness. Don't depend on someone for your happiness. Like saying, Kigani, if you leave me, I will no longer be happy. I will no longer live. I will no longer breathe. That's wrong. People should. It's up to you. Happiness comes from within. No one can have it for you. It's you to have it for yourself. And
I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
The definition for singleness is the state whereby you, even if you're in a relationship, your relationship with God still remain. You can do everything on your own, not dependent on your husband, not dependent on your boyfriend. So singleness should not end until you get to die. Even if in a relationship, still be single. Do your stuff alone. Do your things alone. Grow yourself. Because most people get into a relationship and they stop being single. They continue the relationship because they stop praying, they stop going to church, they stop doing the things they used to do alone. Just because a boy came, just because a girl came. I think singlehood should also remain even if in our relationship, because there are things I need to grow on my own. There are things my lady needs to grow on her own without me. What will happen when I leave? What will happen when she leaves? Will I stop living? No. So I think we should be single even in our relationships. Yeah. You read books to improve yourself. Pray so much to improve yourself. Because the biggest mistake, actually, most people do, they get into a relationship and they stop being single. All they think is how am I going to be like with my yeah. And that it ruins everything. You stop growing as an individual. So I think we should be single even in our relationship. We should be single even in our marriages. because our relationship with God must continue. My personal growth must continue. If I stop growing, then that's the end of me. So I think it's good. Pardon?
I don't know why I tend to disagree, because I think when you become single, no, it's okay. But I think when you become single, most of the things I want to do this, I want to go, I want to do. But I think immediately you get into a relationship and immediately you get into marriage, mostly in marriage, because unajua marriage sasa ni certain, you're going to spend the rest of your life with that person. Na ni kitu huwezi toka. Unajua relationship happens, things happen, and then you get to be single like that. Marriage ni kitu. So I think maybe hata Rodrigo anaweza to show. In marriage, I think
Sorry, I disappeared. Nimeona woman rep wa Embu County akipita hapa kwa ofisi yenye niko. So I wanted her to come and say hi to you guys, and she so that you can see the kind of things you guys are doing that are amazing. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying, okay.
Elizabeth. No, I think what Kiganya was saying, okay, we understand, yeah, we are married, yeah? But you should not stop being Elizabeth Maura just because you have someone made.
But you know, unajua, I think ya nini ya devotion is okay. Sijui kama mnanisikia.
Mnanisikia?
Tunakusikia.
As in Kiganya is trying to say, you should not stop living your life, like enjoying your hobbies or exploring things just because you're dating someone or you're married to someone. Ni kama kuambia bwanako asiende job tumeoana tukapa tukalishane.
But isn't that what happens? Isn't that what happens with the women of today? That's
what happens.
That's what happens with women of today. You want me to afford you salon money, but when I tell you I'm hustling so that we can be able to get, you're telling me I'm being cold.
No, we don't want that. We want to work.
I think freedom is different from being single in a relationship or in a marriage, because you cannot tell your guy to stay and then as he in a job. No, not that you limit. No, that you're going so much into his personal space. But mostly in marriage, I think you cannot just go out because you want to be sasa utoke bila kuambia unaenda and you're married.
It's not about that. Beth, it's not about that. I think most people mistake that we all make. You get into a relationship and you stop reading books about relationship. You stop like doing things that you used to do as a single guy. All you think it's about that lady, and that is wrong. That is wrong. You should build up yourself, look for money, read books, go enjoy life. So singlehood should continue even in our relationship.
Yeah. So here Derry says, I think Kiganya means being single in the sense that you don't see to what used to be interesting to you before you two met. What used to be interesting, but now shouldn't. I made a sim. Okay. As in short, Derry is trying to say, being single, say to you, stop doing what was interesting to you, but you should do things that won't hurt maybe a significant other.
Another thing, it's better. Like amesema hapo, the best word I guess is freedom, which is true. The best word to use is freedom. Because if you tell me about being single in a relationship, it brings a whole different aspect, and inaweza let a lot of controversy. But if at least freedom is allowed, it's better than I think so.
Let's look at this point. When Adam was created, he was single, right?
Yeah.
And then he it led to loneliness, right? In his singleness, it's when God gave him the ability to take care of the creation, right? To cultivate, to name the animals, right? So singlehood is something that we should all be in every state that in our life. We should always be single to do the things we love doing. Even in our marriage, look at this. Look at it. The problem is when you become lonely. When you become lonely, that's the problem. When you're single and lonely, that's become a problem. You should be single and stable. You can do things that you're doing.
Okay, then use the word
single.
I think you use the word stability rather than kwanza to scare what there is saying. I think
Hey guys.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Oh, so explaining my point is I mean this. Being single is not such a good statement to use because I view as in kukua kwa relationship. Unajua you are there because you want that person to love you the way you are. So if that person can't love you the way you are, simply because you don't show your true character, you want to do something that is pleasing to that person, but at the same time you can't do what is pleasing to you. So in short, you're not showing who you really are. You understand? So that's why I'm saying being single and also being free in a relationship are two different things, according to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there is that aspect of being free, and there is that aspect of being single. Being single, ukijibeba wewe ni single, it means that you can interact with another significant other. I'm using that word because there's two genders here. You can interact with another person. At the same time, you are hurting ule mwenye, you are dating. You see, so and you do that in the with that that you are single, with that notion that I am single. You understand? So I think it's two different things. Freedom and being single is two different things. So in dating, I'd say it's dating with freedom. So if you are dating, it's dating with freedom, but not being single. That's even the honor. Yeah.
Mpigie makofi because I think that is very, very I think that is it. I think because for real, if you can't say, and actually there are people who are single and they do not have freedom. Wamejilimit wao wenyewe. So being single doesn't guarantee freedom. And when you get into a relationship and then you become single, it in a later whole different aspect. But what you're trying to say is your part your part being single. I mean, being in a relationship and having your freedom to do what other things other than having that person all the time. So I think they're for, and I charge him a coffee because it is true. You better use the word freedom other than being single. You cannot be single in a relationship. You will have your freedom, you'll have your stability as a person, but you cannot be single, and unless you want to become single and tuachane na ipati ya relationship. I hope Kiganya na
tulitoka kwa depression.
Michelle, you are saying?
No, not tulitoka depression. But I want Derek to say something about depression. What he feels about this topic, depression. How can he advise people about depression? Because he has a campaign that is called Ask Derek. Actually, it's a campaign to fight against depression. So I think he can tell us something about depression. Derek, we don't mind.
Okay, thank you for that, Michelle. Here's what I'd say about depression. Let us small experience about depression. And okay, for one, that thing is nasty. I'll tell you that thing is nasty. Depression is nasty. So and it all begins. I think it all begins with the way you manage your own stuff and how you view life in general. What's life like to you? What's life about to you? So by the time, like, okay, most of what Daktari amesema, and I've had and explain a lot of the points that I usually have in mind also. So by the time ufike point ya kukuwa depressed, how did you manage that which brought you to depression? You know, by the time mtu amefika mali kukuwa depressed, it means that that person couldn't handle zile matters zilikuwa zinamfanya zile matters zimefanya kuwa depressed. It means ilimfikisha point that he or she can't just handle that stuff anymore. So what's led to that's nearly lead to depression. So it all goes down to how do you manage your own personal stuff. Kitu kikusumbua akili, how do you manage? Do you keep it to yourself? And there is one principle nowadays I use: anything inanisumbua, I speak it out. Anything inakuja kwa akili, I try to look for an answer, a possible answer. I give myself some time. Kama sasa inakwambia mimi mwenyewe nafanya repair. A period of 2 days. I gave that nilijipea hiyo. A period of 2 days. I manage my own stuff. Kitu kikata kuleta solution, I always have a person mwenye nitaambia. Hey, hii kitu imenilemea, please help me out, this one. Even if it's a very personal stuff, kwa sababu I wouldn't even let my own stuff kill me in depression simply because I can't handle. So I came also to realize that, especially kwa sababu hii campaign yangu is majorly geared towards youth. I came to realize we as youth, sisi tunaangaliwa as the future, as in wale watu wanategemewa in the future, sisi tunaangaliwa we as youth. So, and if we cannot handle our own issues, if we cannot speak about our own issues, then I don't think kuna mtu atataka to trust their own issues if we are trusted to be the leaders of tomorrow. And also, as youths, we still have a long life to live. Hatuja experience maisha bado, and life is just so rapidly changing. Kama sasa tunakuwa na story ya COVID, sahi okay, I'm also in business, so I know as I hawana pesa, trust me. As I hawana pesa, now ndio wanajua what real stress means. Maybe hao wengine watoto wetu wengine wanaweza kosa kuelewa kwa sababu wanajua wanakula wanafanya. So, and we as youth are headed there to start families, to start businesses, tuko na masomo pia. And if we can't handle such stuff, if we can't learn how to manage such stuff, then we will end up in depression. And hii kitu ilikuwa inanisumbua akili, because me myself, I experienced it, and I took it as a personal initiative to help my fellow youth to grow in this kulani aspect of depression and how to manage it. So my small organization, Ask Dairy, has partnered with, there is an organization, Kenyan DREPRESSION Kenya. We recently partnered, and all wanna address suicide na console watu wenye mtu hizi handle issues zake. That's DREPRESSION Kenya. You can Google it. It's the first page that appears. Actually, if you Google suicide on Google, you will find the first page that appears is DREPRESSION Kenya. So we partnered with them recently, and we are working together to help fellow youths also to understand depression. And this topic of today actually imeniguza mahali kwingi sana. When I was okay, I was driving, that's when I disappeared for a while. So ndio nimekuja kusikia sasa hapa mwisho. But I didn't get everything that Doc said, but hapo mwanzo I understood a lot of the stuff. So that's basically what my campaign is all about. I want to help fellow youths understand depression, grow understanding it, that each generation ikielewa, the next one will understand. And that's the trend that I would like to establish in my fellow youth. Thank you.
Wow,
thank you so much. That is so inspiring. So like Jerry has said, if you feel like you're depressed or you're heading to depression, please talk to someone who you feel is close to your heart, someone who will understand you. Instead of keeping quiet about it and end up hurting, just consult someone. Kuna organization that helps people with depression. It's called DREPRESSION Kenya. I don't know. but Derek knows it. So you can contact him also on Ask Derek, and you will be helped. Don't fear to tell someone that you're depressed or something. You feel okay, not depressed. If you feel like there's too much stress around you and you cannot handle it alone, ask for help. Don't fear to ask for help. Some people feel like they can do it all alone. Ati usome, uende job, we bado una date, bado ni baba ya mtu mahali and you're not telling anyone. Or maybe you're having an issue with your family also. You're having issues with your friends. All of you must have someone to tell, because we are all humans. We break down to some point. And breaking down is not a sin. Actually, it's something that we should all learn to embrace, and not just embrace it, and embrace it well. Adapt good. It's, what did the doctor say? Adapting habits. You can go for a walk, listen to music. Like me, I listen to music. You listen to music that will help. See artists za kelele that will disturb the mind. Listen to soothing music, walk, take a long walk. If you can dance, just dance it out. There are people who stress eat, and for those who stress eat healthy. Just don't eat anything because of diabetes and the other things. Just learn to do something that will help you adapt. Don't break stuff. Don't break
Michelle, hapo kwa stress eating. Stress eating, no. Napata kwa best. It's good. Eat healthy.
Yeah.
And also, okay, in life, growth gonna happen that you find comfortable to talk to an age mate rather than you find comfortable to talk to an age mate kwa sababu maybe ni mtu slightly amepitia ama ni mtu hajapitia. Okay, kuna vile mtu hajapitia pia mnaweza saidiana. Najua kuna kitu wewe unaona kitu mwingine haoni. Na kuna kitu wewe huoni who is heading to depression, lakini kuna mtu mwingine who life is normal for him or her. Ataona kwambia mimi hufanya hivi na nje kuna wewe ningefanya hivi, unaona. So there is things unapatanga kwambia management is more comfortable, feels more comfortable kwambia mzazi ama kwambia mtu mzee, unaelewa. Sometimes unaweza mtu mzee anapenda change kakweni kamsomo tena. Kitambo hapa ulifikaje? What happened? Nini saa na badala sasa yeye akupe solution anarudi tu pale nyuma, ni nini ulifanya? Maybe you did something stupid. Sasa badala akupe solutions you already in that something you did. Sasa badala akupe solutions sasa inatana kwa kamsomo, unaelewa. So maybe telling management sometimes is the best of that.
Rodrigo amefika, ameenda kuongea na nani? Ameenda kuongea na daktari.
Kiganya, tell us something about depression. Advise people. No, umebaka. We get you. Tell us something.
I think people, we should never wait until you get to depression. Stress, a little bit stress, it's okay. But depression, no. It's a very bad state to be. Honestly, I've never been depressed. Come on, I have a lot of things to do. But I think it's a sad thing. It's something serious. People commit suicide. Actually, in a certain article 3 months ago about homicides and how in the US suicidal are very, very high because of depression. Actually, US are struggling with depression. People are being counselors wanapata do US juu ya vile wasi wako stress na story na maisha. So place Kenya iko, I think it's something we should work hard. We should work hard to make sure that we take care of depression in the earliest stage. Depression sipo by the way. Acha nisikuchoche. It's simple. Not that najua. I have one of my sister. One of my sisters is a counselor, and one of the things she usually do to every one of us, she always counsel us, by the way, in matters to do with depression. So from her perspective, depression is a very, very bad thing. So I'm talking about what I've heard from her. It's a very, very bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah, depression is bad. I've seen cases on TV how people act when they are depressed. People lose their mind. Mtu anakata nywele, literally, like pulling and plucking it off just because of being depressed. Other people start talking to themselves. That's how people end up becoming crazy and mad.
And
So,
Michelle,
yeah,
I had asked a question about how can we help people with depression, by the way.
yeah. Be someone they can talk to. When someone is telling about what they're going through, listen to them. What I think some people don't understand, when someone is coming to you with an issue, usianze tu come up with ideas and harsh judgments. Just listen to them, get the point of the story. For some, if you can hug them, and tell them they're not alone. And a depressed person sitting to tambaya machakula kwamba mimi niko na atibaye food akue atio itaisha. A depressed person ni mtu mentally hayuko sawa. So you must try to connect with them, and also look like for the organization that Derry is saying is talking about Befrienders Kenya, or someone or a counselor that you know, refer them to them. You refer them to the counselors, because kama uja specialize na kitu huwezi msaidia ati sana, but don't let that person ifike to, you know, kuna stages, kuna mild depression and the other one, the severe one. Don't let them wafike hapo. If you can help them when they are here at mild depression, it's better for them. So you can refer them to counselors, talk to them also if you can. Learn to be their friend. The people who are depressed, they don't have friends. They don't have friends. Then they start hiding in the name of I'm an introvert. You see that bullshit that they give you.
Bullshit.
Yeah. So they tell me I'm an introvert. I don't like people. But the thing is, to talk.
Wait, Beth, uko wapi? Tutapatana nyuma ya tent.
I assume that, and I be like, tulikuwa tunaongelea kuhusu depression.
Yeah, wait, hiyo haijaisha.
So I think depression yenyewe si state poa.
Yeah.
Depression si state. So, and I think so as I was saying, depression is not a good state to be, and kusaidia mtu akiwa depressed, kumwongelesha tu, as Michelle has said, unamwongelesha, and then I think another thing is you let them do more of the talking and you more of the listening, because that helps. I feel like there's someone who is ready to listen to them, and it's way more of you. Oh, my day was, oh, I did this, and then you have happy time ya kuongea. So you do more of the listening than talking, and the more of encouraging in everything anasema. And then I think another thing is sympathy is not right. Ile mtu anakuambia mashida zake kwa zile za akipole fanya. It's not nini. Haufai kumhurumia. Like, I think the best thing you need to do is to show them that what they are passing through, as big as it is something that wanaweza solve ama anaweza pita. You try and tell them they can do it, and above all ni kuomba, as Daktari has said.
There is something Daktari said And actually I was thinking about it. Actually mimi nilikuanga victim. That ile point yenye mkikosana na msee, you just push them away. You block them, don't want anything to them about them. You want to be alone. I think Daktari said that nika reflect back na nikaona, hey, by the way, we need to every once in a while, let's examine ourselves. Let's know where we are. Personally, our relationship with God, our relationship with other people, our relationship with our relatives, our family, our parents. It's a good thing to examine ourselves, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in that state, Kiganya, you can tell us. That you are depressed, now that you are cutting people away, you can tell us.
I didn't get your question. Come again. I didn't get your question.
That state where now if someone wrongs you, I'm shut away, you're done with that person. So I say that at time you are depressed.
No. Maybe I can say I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question.
Okay, let me answer.
I used to solve my problem like that actually. If we're not agreeing on something and you've hurt my feelings, I would block you or delete your number. I'll go off for a couple of days, but I learned it's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Pia, don't entertain just anyone to hurt you in the name of you don't want to shut them off. If someone is out for you, cut them. What's the point?
Yeah.
Cut them off. Furthermore, if the person is not paying your bill, you're not related. So if I say kuna vile unani degrade, tunakusahau. It's that simple. Yeah. So before we finish, I want to say we all get anxious at a point. So just from 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your anxiety to God, for He cares. That's what the Bible says. So if God knows it all, don't be afraid. Come on, you cannot trust people, of which people should not be trusted. You can talk to God. God can answer all your prayers. He can calm down your anxiety. Like wengine usema Mungu hayuko, napitia hizi vitu zote, God alinisahau. No, God does not forget. Ni vile He has 3 replies: yes, no, or wait. Just learn to be patient with things. Trust God. He'll be there for you, even though people they are not always there for you. Yeah, back. Okay, so Beth, do you have anything to say before we conclude?
Rodrigo is back, so maybe tunaweza mpatia. Rodrigo, you can tell us as we continue, as we finish up. We were asking how to deal with people who are depressed. Now, Nadia, how do you deal with such people?
Yeah.
Okay. Amesema can't talk. Can't talk. Wait, kidogo.
Before I forget, there is the book I've been doing, a little keys for marriage. Na ingine inaitwa I'm looking single, married, separate, and life after divorce. So that is where I got that point here. We are supposed to be single, even in a relationship. The author is called Miles Monroe. So I'm still looking at his perspective, whereby he was saying there is a point where we are in a relationship but single. The singleness haishi. Now the idea he gets it from the book of Genesis 2. When Adam was single, God gave him everything to do. Then God brought Eve just because he was no singleness haishi. Singleness in the book anasema it does not end. Even when you're married, it does not end. So singleness is a state of whereby you're independent on your own. Not you don't have someone to date. You're dependent on your own. Singleness, yeah. That is how he's calling it. Singleness is the part where you're independent. You don't need anyone. So even after getting to a relationship, that state does not end. You continue being dependent. You continue being like, you have someone in your life, you're married to someone, but you're not dependent to them. You can work, you can do everything, you're not dependent to them. So think it in that way, not another way that you are single and it's the other way. It's another definition that tunakuwa nayo, but there is that aspect of singleness, even in marriage. That is the book. Look for it, read it. Actually,
so what do Muru is still trying to say before, let's say, okay, just because I get married to a guy called, let's say Mureithi, then I get to be Mrs. Mureithi, yeah? But I don't stop being Michelle Midigo just because I'm now Mrs. Mureithi.
Yeah.
I still have Michelle Midigo. That is, I have my own abilities, my own talents, my own life, my own. Yeah. So I cannot stop being Michelle. Have Mureithi. Sema Beth, kabla ukalapse. Sema. I am still not agreeing to it. I am still not agreeing to it.
Yeah.
I think there's a point of, Babu, if you tell me that you're independent, if you tell me that you're single and you're married, there's no way you can, because I am single, I can just get out of the house and decide to go to wherever without even telling my guy, and then my guy hajui kwenye nimeenda.
It's not about that.
Actually,
it's not about that, Liz.
Mentality kama hiyo kwa mayouth, I think.
It's not about that. It's not about that. You're not listening. Listen to Michelle, listen to me.
I wish I want to be on my side because naona hapa ni kuna collaboration. I am not.
No.
Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry, I was chasing the woman rep of Embu County. Amejifanya venye anioni. Ni sawa, tuendeleeni.
Sini life. But Beth, you're confusing. As in, just because I want to be Michelle Midigo doesn't mean that I can't tell Mureithi that I want to go out.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm me, but I will involve him. They're not going to involve the guy just because of freedom. Actually, I get you. I get what you're saying. But I think the choice of words nenyewe mbaya. Because if that is what you guys mean, I think we can use the word freedom.
No, we're not about freedom. It's not about freedom. It's not about freedom. Listen, it's not about freedom. It's not about freedom.
Freedom is the best phrase.
No. It's singlehood. You are in a relationship but single. Not that you're not dating anyone.
I don't agree.
We will.
Let me phrase it what they are saying. Wacha nikwambie chenye wanasema so that wanasema you can be single in a relationship.
No.
You can be?
No.
Gladwell is saying. That is what Gladwell is saying.
No.
My identity is not lost in being in a relationship. Like Michelle Midigo should not go just because I'm dating Mureithi.
Yeah.
Like I cannot make my own decision. But I think the issue is that the word singlehood. Immediately you're getting into marriage, you stop being single.
You don't stop being single.
Yes, I'm dating, but I'm a single person as I am.
Yeah. Hey, you remain to be single. You can do the things that makes you happy.
You know what Elizabeth is saying? What my namesake is saying now is that when the Bible says a man shall leave his home and a woman shall leave her home and they shall become one. That doesn't mean that your identity is lost, but also it means that you are no longer just a single entity.
Yeah.
I do, and that's what my namesake is saying. She's saying that at the end of the day, you can be as single as you want, but the moment you commit, the commitment in itself.
Yeah, you're talking about commitment. Yeah, but we, Liz, what we're trying to say, it's that, you know, there is this tendency when guys get married, they stop like doing their things they used to do. Okay,
Right,
they used to pray 3 times in a day. They used to read books. Yeah. Once they get to relationship,
there are things you stop doing while you're single and you.
I didn't get to finish. Okay. Singleness remain even. The only time singleness ends is when you die. Because when you're married to me, it doesn't mean you'll take my name and everything that, as in, you stop being you. You don't stop being you. The responsibility of a wife remains. The responsibility of a wife remains. The responsibility of being a husband remains. But singleness, my relationship with God continues. It's not freedom. We talk about freedom. We're talking about the things that, like, I used to read books. Not I get into marriage, I start focusing on you alone. I forget about what I used to do. That is still singleness. The thing that used to make me happy still makes me happy. Not the thing that hurts your feelings, but the things that are good that I used to do. I'm not talking about going clubbing, going out with boys. I'm not talking about that, leaving you alone. I'm not talking about me stopping bringing bread, being breadwinner in the family. No, I'm talking about the things that are used to define my singleness. You know, reading books. You know, listening to someone.
Let me tell you guys something that I know is fact, and you know, this is the thing. If you want any and all of your relationships to succeed, you have to remove yourself from what the society has dictated for you. Let me use this example. Kitambo, in the society that we live in, people with disabilities used to be something, you know, let's throw away in the forest, let's let animals eat. But you see, my mom decided, ujamaa, acha tumwekeke, acha tumle tuone kama, you know, something will happen out of it. That's the same concept with relationships. If you want your relationship to succeed, I want to give you guys an example of Kirk Franklin. All of you know Kirk Franklin. All of you love him. But very few people know about the struggles that he was going through as a young, you know, artist. And I remember he was saying when he first met his wife, he sat her down and he told her, actually, walikutana tu kwa beach, and he told her, you know what? There's a chance that you might possibly be my wife in the next few years. So tujipange tu nayo. And he kept inspiring and inspiring and inspiring. Na alikuwa anadharauliwa sana, but eventually he started understanding who he was and what he was. So by the time he was coming to her, he was coming as a full package. And by the time the lady was seeing him, she was also seeing him as a full package. You know? So whenever you're going anywhere, if you don't want to be depressed or stressed, you know, the things that Dr. Mary has spoken about, you have to be yourself. And being yourself is a matter of being able to understand who you are. How do I react to different situations? What is my love language? Hizo vitu zote tumekuwa tukiongea. Once you understand yourself, kuna kitu tunaitanga in psychology self-actualization. It's very difficult for a human being to get to self-actualization, but the point is you start building yourself and you start knowing who you are. There are people who have stayed long enough with me to know you can preach, you can kneel down all you want, but once he makes his decision, that's it. So know yourself. And once you know yourself, imagine all these other people will fall in line. And that's the point.
Yeah.
So I think the thing about, okay, sorry, niulize, kulikuwa na swali? Nilikuwa nimesikia kulikuwa na swali Mari.
Hata si swali ni eti, I think choice of words, I have loved the way you have said it, and that is okay. Right. Choice of words are very important. Someone can misunderstand you because of the words used. And I am glad the way you've explained it, you've done it so well. And haujatumia the word being single in a relationship, but you have tried and said what Michelle, but you've not used that word, because I am trying to think like a normal person who knows the meaning of being single and being in a relationship, and I'm trying to think like that. But when you may find very, very well and very wise, if I may
Michelle
say,
anakuangalia like ni sawa boss.
You have noticed the word single, but umejaribu could define what they are trying to say, which is very well. But here the word single in a letter a whole different aspect. If you say you can be single in a relationship, so me,
I think what Mboro, what you need to do, fanya hivi, hiyo kitabu, ebu pea my namesake,
yeah, utasoma. Actually, sikia vile anasema, skiza, singleness is all about finding yourself, loving yourself, valuing yourself, and put the highest in estimation of yourself. So hiyo haifai kuisha, even ukiingia kwa relationship, you value yourself over everything. It's about singleness that we move to unhappy relationship. It's because of our singleness that we move to unhappy relationship. So,
in so many words, what he's simply trying to say is self-actualization, where you get to a point where you say to yourself, I'm not moving. It's their time to move. So let them come find me. Me, I'm good where I am. So munipate kwenye niko. Kama unasikia ukiumia.
Hapo sana. Hapo.
Kitu ingine nimeona is that I think what you okay, when you say it's true, because you get to understand the context of what that person ameandika hiyo kitabu, because there are different books with different meaning of singlehood, and if you read one of it, you will get to understand Kimany. And if you read another, you'll get to understand. No, the thing is, no, here hapa penye tuko ni Kiganya peke yake amesoma hiyo kitabu. So we do not know exactly what that author has said about singlehood. So we are taking from what we know is being single. So unless we all read that book, ndio tutatry kuelewa chenye huyo author anamaanisha. Because if you tell any other person that you can be single in a relationship, umepoteza that person.
I think what
Kiganya group to our group, WhatsApp group.
No. He's right.
I think anafaa kutumia kitabu.
I think what we can do is maybe next Friday we will plan for another good session. So talking about now more specifically, because you've had Dr. Mary say what you guys go through, what we all go through is not depression. It's just being stressed, and we need to learn how to manage that stress. Because I know of people when they are stressed, they faint. I know of people when they're stressed, everything freezes. Have you ever had a boss who, when they are stressed, everything in that office turns to hell? Yeah. So we need to all learn how to manage our stress, and maybe next time, tutapanga tujue, if we can further the discussion, or if we can have a brand new discussion, and then schedule this discussion for some other later time. Yeah. And I think something else that Youthful Expressions needs to explore is, can we have discussions that aren't really pushed into having a guest? It's just us sitting down and asking each other's questions. Because one thing I know for a fact, Bible says my people perish because of lack of knowledge. So what if we sat down and actually decided, now let's gather knowledge? Because the thing I know about this particular thing called relationships and all that, there will never be a day you'll ever read a book that will ever give you 100% of everything. But what you can do is you can read for the wisdom of it and for the knowledge of it, so that when you get into those situations, then you're able to understand, so this person handled that situation like that, and that other person handled that other situation like that. It's like Sigmund Freud and Plato. Aristotle and Plato. Plato was the student of Aristotle. And
these are all guys of philosophy. And they sat down and nasikia Plato anasema the moon is made out of avocado paste. Nakachini unamuza mse unatubebaji wewe ati moon imetengenezwa na paste ya avocado ndio maana sasa inakaa kama moon. You know, and someone has crazy ideas. So if we all sat down and we as Youthful Expressions came up with a manual to say, you know what, this is how we are going to fix relationships as the youth. This is how we are going to fix people who have depression or who are stressed. Because the only thing, by the way, the cure to everything, mimi najua, the need to love and be loved, the need to belong. Once you have that, every disease is healed. But huyo ni Rodrigo.
Kwanza bado hiyo story ya kuwa single ina sijui kwa nini bado inaniwasha, but it's okay. Kwa sababu let me try it. I think this is from my personal way I have interacted with people, and they say the reason as to why marriages break is because your partner wants to seek singlehood in marriage. And that is why many, and hiyo ni research watu wanaenda kufanya mostly Kiganya, anaenda kufanya hiyo research whereby
you can
someone who's trying to look for being single in
the thing is, the guy should know you're married. So I don't expect you, since we are married, I don't expect you to go to a club and start dancing with other chicks in the name of I want freedom and singlehood. This is my life. I used to have a. It's not about what me and Kigane were saying is that something that is benefiting to me and
me.
Not just
ngoja hata wewe sasa nikuambie, this is not about you, and it is about it is not about an individual. Ati wewe Kenya unataka, if I want to go to the club and I'm married and you don't want to go with me, you stay home, me I'll go.
Exactly. And I think but let me give you an example. Maybe as I was single, maybe nikiwa single, I was doing my devotion at 4, not even at 4, at 7 p.m. And I was doing my devotion at 7 p.m. because I like it that way when it's at 7 p.m. in the evening. But now when I get into a marriage, sitaambia bwanangu ati akae hapo njaa, I do my devotion. Because devotion is a very genuine thing. Because I want to grow my relationship with God. Immediately you get into a relationship,
you will reschedule it. You will reschedule it. You will not stop. You will reschedule it. You will reschedule. And that is part of being single. That is part of being single. You will reschedule. No. You will not stop.
I'm not. Hata sikuwa nimemaliza what I was saying. I had not finished what I was saying. Exactly. You will reschedule. You will reschedule. You will reschedule. Yes. But the point is, even if that thing I was doing in singlehood makes me happy, you don't know how much. You don't know why I put my devotion at 7 p.m. You don't know why I did that, why I put my devotion at 7 p.m. Because maybe that makes me happy to do my devotion at 7 p.m. And if anyone else come and tell me to do my devotion at another time, it might affect me as little as that. It might make me feel bad because mimi nimependa nini devotion yangu at 7 p.m. But the fact that I am rescheduling is because I have someone else in mind. I stop thinking as me and start thinking as us. What I cannot siwezi acha mtu hapo ati sasa ati chapa ianze kupikwa 9 ati because I want to do my devotion ati not because I am seeking for what is happy. I think if me as a single maybe I was good
that is why we say whenever and that's why I love the way what's it called Youthful Expressions. That's why we started by saying what are our love languages. So if you need to get someone who you know, mashetani zetu zinasikizana.
Si ati Liz ni wa kuamka 5 alafu mimi niko hapo nikikwambia enda uombe na huko bana, mimi unanisumbua nikilala. You know.
Yeah.
So get to a point where that's what we keep saying as youthful expressions. And ndio maana napenda hii show, because we're talking about real things and we're saying, here's the thing, we need to be together and we need to be in sync. We don't just, being together is okay, but we need to also be united. You know, there's a very big difference between being together and being united. We can be together and not united, but we can also be, yani, we need to get to a point where we decide for ourselves, what do we want as a couple, as individuals. There is bank account here, Elizabeth, and then there's bank account here, Mboro. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to have a joint account, because I think that's a fallacy. I think that's a very big fallacy. But anyway, tutaongea kwa nini nyingine. Vile Mboro amecheka sana.
Ni kama deri tuko nini kwa sababu there's something amesema hapa, we have 3 marital statuses: single, married and complicated. Which is it?
No, we're not complicated.
But I think your story ya kutafuta singlehood nini, mi bado I am not for it. You do whatever you're supposed to do when you're single before you get into a relationship. And before you get into marriage, do whatever you want to do. But ukiingia into a relationship, don't seek.
No.
Michelle,
No.
Wacha nisalimie watu, nilikuwa napita tu. Huyu ni Nax Studios. Ya, huko ni Nax Studios. Nilikuwa napita tu, kuna chipi lakini nilikuwa napenda.
Unapotea hatukusikii clearly.
Nasema huko ni Nax Studios. Umesikia Nax Studios? Ya, huko ni Nax Studios. Nilikuwa napita tu. Asante, lakini nilikuwa napita tu. Salimia Rodriguez. Rodriguez, nataka namba yako. Nataka tuongee hivyo tu.
Nax Studio, thank you for the tour online. Rodrigo, they want your number. Yeah, everyone is muted. But anyway, Kiganya, so we were saying, we're not saying we should be single until we forget our roles in a relationship.
Yeah.
The thing is, we want the freedom to express ourselves as we are, not just because we're married. It doesn't mean that you should state what we are doing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wait.
We continue to.
There was something Michelle amesema.
Kama Derek ameingia hapa, ameingia kuchoma watu wangu. Derek anachoma, tuendelee sasa.
Acha tuchome while we can. Tunasema, Michelle, you've said something very important. Freedom to do what?
Yeah.
Freedom to
express ourselves.
Express ourselves. That's the key word we are looking for. Not being single. Not being single. That's why when you're married, you're pronounced a couple, man and wife. So what you used to do when you're single, you used to mingle with other women. And that is me.
Not necessarily.
You as Michelle. Oh, hold on, Kinyaga, please. Let me finish. You used to mingle with other men. I used to mingle with other ladies. But now we are a couple. You are a couple. So what you used to do when you were single, kuna vitu zingine ulikuwa unafanya zina bore your significant other, and that thing you can't do, huwezi fanya. It's even when like we have to face that fact. Kuna vitu zingine huwezi fanya. What you used to do kwa nyumba yako, kwa peke yako, you no longer do it. Utajifanya tu, you no longer do it because you are not alone now. You're not alone.
Goja kidogo. Hapana, goja kidogo. Wacha niseme kitu.
Okay.
Ni sawa, unaendelea. Anyway, what you're saying is right, but here's the thing. When you stand on that altar, what does the pastor say? The pastor say, do you forsake all things? But he doesn't say, do you forsake yourself?
No.
You see, so you have to be, even as you're planning to be with someone, make sure you know who they are, you know what you're doing, you know what you're getting yourself into, because like Prof. Dr. said, you have to be in a place where you understand who you are, because once you understand who you are, huyu mwingine atajisort. By the way, hii notion ya ati Derek alete 50-50, Michelle, Derek alete 50, Michelle alete 50, ati sasa tuna make so. Hiyo ni shindo shetani mfululizo. Hiyo ni ile mtawali anasemanga shindo shetani mfululizo. Wewe leta 100 yako, mimi nilete 100 yangu, alafu sote tukue na 200.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, with that being said, naona watu wa AOV wamefika hapa, akina Masireri wako huku wanashangaa nini kinaendelea. So Michelle, where is your co-host? You can anyway, final thoughts before you guys end the show. Final thoughts from Derek, tuanzie na wewe because uko online. Already uko na mic, so Derek tuanzie na wewe.
Final thoughts, I think this show ya leo haijatoka concluded vizuri. We need to revisit. We shall revisit. Okay. We need to revisit.
We should revisit.
We are not defeated. But anyway, tradition was awesome. I was busy alafu tena daktari na yana katika, so leo mtakuwa nashikanisha story kabisa, but I hope you guys can organize at least participate. It's very interesting, especially for me also. It's very interesting. Please, Rodrigo,
awesome,
Michelle,
awesome, definitely.
All stakeholders involved, please make sure to another session. Akona point zinakuja mzuri sana ni ya communication inaleta shida kiasi. Thank you.
Yeah.
Boro, you need to say something?
I want to thank you.
Michelle, when you host, where to Leah? When you host.
Yeah, today's session.
And Derek ameenda.
Today's session imekuwa awesome. By the way, talking about depression, it's a key. We need to discuss it. We need to tell our brothers and sisters, we tell our cousins, our friends. Depression si kitu poa. So we need to work on it. We go to the problem, to the core problem. We need to work with depression. I've enjoyed. So we need to revisit this session. This should lazima tutaongea, si ndio? Thanks guys. God bless you all.
Yeah.
Michelle, where's your co-host? Ama alienda pia.
Enda wapi? Labda simulisha wewe.
Okay. So, anything to say?
I want to thank you all for coming. This was an amazing session. It was nice. I loved how the doctor helped us in some things. We learned stages of depression. We learned how to handle ourselves when we're in depression, to handle others who are in depression also. She gave us tips on to as in usitoke kwa stress ufike kwa depression. That was nice. And she also said that you should get to understand yourself. I don't think you'll be able to understand someone else. So first learn yourself, understand yourself, be in a better position to handle yourself. Then that's how you'll get to handle others too. So All I can say is thank you for coming. This was an awesome show. Lazima tufanye tena, tufanye discussion of singlehood in marriage. It was an awesome topic.
Thank you, Michelle.
Like this at and we should have a nice discussion. I just love this platform. You guys are amazing. Derek, Iganya, Rodrigo, and the rest. You're amazing. I just thank God for you. Anyway, so follow us on Instagram and on YouTube also. Check our shows, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I love you so much. I'm your host, Michelle Midigo. Yeah, nothing more.
Asante sana.
Amigos.
Yes, watu wa nini mtoke hivyo mkienda, watu wa Yovi kujeni ndani. Watu wa Youthful Expressions endeni mkiendaga. Michelle unasema nini?
Show ya usiku ya Kiki Wangendo.
Oh yeah, we have Kiki Wangendo at night, so let's wait for that. In the meantime, tuonaneni usiku. Yeah, it's true. One of my guys, one of my bosses anasema this is a Zoom session. Oh, Rana. One of my bosses was saying hii session imekuwa long sana. Anataka kujoin session gani? So, ni sawa. Tunaona wewe ni msupu, sawa green polka dots. Yeah, Michelle.
Huko ni kwa Yovi.
Huko ni kwa Yovi.
Tuende. Kiganya we go.
Nyinyi endeni, nyinyi hamhitajiki huko.
Nyinyi nyamazeni niwaimbie kidogo.
Unasikia mnaimbiwa.
1 2. Do you believe in love? How crazy could be, baby, ooh, take it easy. Yes, I am. You're my fantasy, my only desire. Hakuna base. 1 2. Nafanya mic testing. Check. Yes, I am. Sawa tunayo hivyo. Wote wanapiga wejo mama ya. Wewe nachukua tena. Oh, pretty uko sawa na. Wote malaika watu macheka. 1 2. Nice one. Ati leo ni siku ya Francis na Esther IK.
Rodriguez, where are you?
Hi guys, I'm here, Sema.
Oh, umesanitize room?
Yes.
So tunaweza ingia.
Mnaweza ingia sasa, iko sawa. I was actually sanitizing the room now.
Asante sana. Idadi gani?
Yes.
Hello, Rodrigo Saseni. Rod.
Poa sana. Sorry, I was sanitizing the room. Poa sana.
Mko poa lakini?
Yes.
Sawa.
Alafu Rod, zile